welcome to the inaugural Aqua Caribbean Blue Economy Conference 2020. The conference provides a platform to raise awareness of education and employment opportunities in the Caribbean's blue economy. My name is Vanessa Benjamin, and I am your host for this research-themed session. Research actually deepens our understanding of the blue economy. This is a session aimed to raise the visibility of minorities involved in marine science. I am happy to have our panelists with us. They're an exceptional group of Black female shark researchers from the organization Minorities in Shark Sciences. On the panel today, we have Jasmin Graham, President and CEO. Welcome, Jasmin. Amani Webber-Schultz, CFO. Carlee Jackson, Director of Communications, and Jaida Elcock, Director of Public Relationships. Ladies, a warm welcome to you, and thank you for joining us in this discussion. Now, I know how crazy we can get with our when we start talking about science and when we get together. I have 20 years experience, just to introduce myself, working in conservation in the Bahamas. I am from the Bahamas. For my master's research, I studied at Florida International University in Miami, and I studied the movements of bonefish. Bonefish is an economically important species for the Bahamas, valued hundreds of millions of dollars. So I wanted to track and investigate where they go to spawn. As you can appreciate, understanding spawning movements, we're better able to protect those areas. So I'm big on research driving conservation decisions. Currently, I'm a PhD student at the University of Auckland. I jumped from the marine biology, ecology space, and I'm now into the cellular biology space. There is a new innovative field called cellular agriculture, where you're actually raising fish meat from the cells of that fish. So that's currently the research that I'm involved in, and an exciting front. But I want to hear more about the research that you've been doing and a little bit about minorities in science. Jasmin, what was the inspiration behind the formation of Minorities in Shark Science?
So we were part of this Twitter movement that was spawned by Black Birders Week, where there's a big hashtag going around for Black in Nature. And so we all came across each other because we had been posting pictures of ourselves out in the fields with the hashtag Black in Nature. And then we kind of noticed, oh, hey, there are other Black women out there that are shark scientists. This is really cool. And so we kind of just like, oh, I study sharks too. Oh, me too, me three. And then it turned into this whole thing where we kind of jokingly said, we should start a club. And then that joke became a reality. And we started Minorities in Shark Sciences to support women of color that are pursuing shark science.
It's amazing. I mean, it's amazing how you reached out on social media and you formed this wonderful organization. When was the organization officially formed?
June 2020.
Nice. Very, very nice. Congratulations for getting everyone together. I want to know now about the science because, this session we are to inspire. We are supposed to make people get excited. I mean, there's nothing cooler than scuba diving, conducting our research in the field, actually adding to the body of science for our respective fields. So I want to know a little bit about the science, because when we talk about women and women's representation in the sciences, from the outset, women are underrepresented minorities in earning PhDs in science in greater numbers than ever before. So that's good. We have women, Black women, represented, or minorities in general, represented in the sciences. In a 2016 article in Nature, this article stated that women remain severely underrepresented in science and engineering. They receive less startup funding than men. They comprise less than 20% in upper management and senior and their position on senior scientific boards. The picture is even more grim for minority groups, with many aspects unchanged since the 1980s. Can you believe that? Since the 1980s. So diversity of thought background and experience actually leads to a wider pool of hypothesis. I mean, if we have a wonderful group of Black talented female sharing ideas, because I would imagine when this group got together, you started to share ideas and things that you saw in the field. Is that correct?
Yeah, we all just kind of started sharing, what ideas we have for our different research. And since we're all sort of in slightly different areas, I know that I'm looking at movement ecology and Amani is looking at more like the biomechanics, physiology side of things. It's interesting that we were kind of getting an idea of two different parts of like the life history of sharks, to kind of get more of like the whole picture, because if you're, focused on one side of it, you may not always be completely focused on the other side too. So to be able to kind of share those ideas and really get like a bigger picture of the whole thing was really interesting to see.
Yes, and that bigger picture is so important because, the world doesn't exist in a little vacuum. It doesn't exist in our little world, in our research area. So it's good to call on and learn from others in the field. Um, Jasmin, what inspired you to become a marine scientist?
Yeah, so I was a military brat, so we moved around a lot. So my kind of home base was always going back and visiting my grandma. And my dad's side of the family is from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And so we're on the coast. We spend a lot of time fishing. And so I was always connected to the ocean, but in a way of fishing for food, not necessarily in a scientific way. And so I just kind of started asking questions